So I want to do a little video here about building wealth. I know everything is so expensive these days. This video is November 2020, and I know it's very challenging. A lot of times it's hard to even save. So I wanted to create this video and section it into some certain true strategies. If you follow, you can build your wealth. Now they say that 90% of real estate or 90% of millionaires are through real estate, and I'm going to focus it more towards real estate. But more so, a lot of it is just personal finance for yourself. And I want to go over certain basics that are important. Number one is credit. Now, I've talked about credit often. For folks that have worked with me in the past, know that essentially credit is the foundation here in the Western world. If you're even looking to rent these days, especially in the GTA here, it's quite a challenge. A lot of landlords are very selective, and they want to make sure not just having a great paying job. You can have a six-figure job and still be rejected from, imagine, like most places you apply to rent, let alone buying a home. And so credit is very important. With that said if you have any questions directly related to credit, I want to maybe focus it on a separate video. But there are 5 factors affecting credit. It's not just paying your bill. That's about 35%. The other 65% is actually, very easy to tackle. Things like utilization. That's the one I want to focus on just quickly, because all you have to do is basically, if you have a credit card of, let's say, $1,000 limit, use only 30% of that. Keeping your utilization under 30% affects about 30% of your credit score. That's how much utilization impacts. The other things are things like having long credit history. So don't cancel old credit cards you don't use. Keep them. They're creating that history. Things like credit inquiries and different accounts, right? Having a variety of different accounts, right? So, a very simple one is go get a line of credit for $5,000, $10,000, $20,000. Just get a line of credit. And interestingly, if you don't use it, nothing happens. It's a free account. You don't have to use it. It gives you a cheaper form of lending. If you need to buy, let's say, or need to fix, let's say, something major in your car for $3,000, $4,000, instead of putting it on a credit card, which charges you 20%, you could put it in a line of credit, which might charge you 7, 8%. So just right there, you're saving and you're able to have that kind of financial flexibility, same time keeping your utilization low, and you're also building your credit. But of course, don't use it. The key thing here is, don't get access to credit and go use it. The key thing is having that access to credit and showing credit agencies and showing the banks and lenders that you don't use it, that you're very responsible in your way of addressing it. So that's the key thing here. The second thing I want to talk about here is building a savings. It's very important to have savings. Listen, it's not just for real estate. This is, like I said, personal to yourself and your family, right? You want to make sure that you're not hand to mouth with your day-to-day job, that if you lose your paycheck for a couple of weeks or a couple of months, that all of a sudden your lifestyle changes. So that's why you want to have a cushion on savings. Then we get this question often is, what is a good amount to save? What is an adequate number to save? And I always tell people, try to keep no more than 2 months of your spending. So if your family spending is, let's say, $5,000 a month, then you would want to have at least 10,000 of that quite liquid, quite ready to go. And the reason for that is, if you do have any sort of, like I said, interruption with your income, whether it's, a layoff or whatever, yes, you do have things like employment insurance, EI might kick in, but just in case, you never know, it might be wrongful on your side of things and you might not qualify. So you want to make sure you have that 2-month buffer ready so that your lifestyle isn't at risk. And also, rainy days, things do come up. The question is, well, what if you have more savings? What do you do with that? And it's very important to make sure that you're not just putting it in a general savings account earning you 0.5%, which means it's losing money. When you take into account inflation, you want to make sure you're investing that. So you can get a TFSA or an RSP account that is tied to like an investment account. And if you don't feel comfortable doing it yourself, then reach out to somebody that is a financial advisor who can help you invest there as well. And if you have any questions regarding who's a good financial advisor, we can kind of share with you some individuals we've worked with before. So savings is the second and most important thing. And lastly is essentially getting your first home. And you're probably saying, well, okay, well, how is that going to build my wealth? If anything, I'm going into more debt. And I get it. When you buy your first home, you're what we call asset poor. And what it is you're dumping a whole lot of money, right? Your down payments, your closing costs, all that into your home, sometimes even some maintenance and repairs, into your first home. And you look at your bank account and you're wondering like, oh my goodness, what the heck did I just do? And what that is it's asset poor. You've just shifted that, what it looks like cash that's definitely losing value due to inflation into an asset, which you're leveraged with, which means if it gains 4 or 5%, you've actually made anywhere from 15 to 25%, depending on how much down payment you put. And it's a leveraged asset. It tends to appreciate value even during inflationary period. The higher the inflation, it tends to do even better. And you have yourself an asset that not only can appreciate, but it can be flexibly earning you money. With your parents, for example, you can still live with your parents and rent out that asset. You can even see if you can split up into whether rooms or into a duplex, an upper and lower unit kind of thing. And you can obviously create more cash flow there. The strategy for building wealth doesn't stop there. A very important aspect is once you have the foundations of your credit, you have some savings, and you have that first property, that is your first foundation to building wealth in real estate. After that, it's very easy because now you have a very strong foundation. After that, what you're trying to do, and you probably hear this all the time, strategies like flipping, refinancing, the BRRRR model, all of that, now you can start using that. But if you don't even have strong credit, you don't have any savings, you don't even have that first little property to start with, it could be a small little condo, then really you're talking all these strategies and this, if I have $1 million, I'll flip it, I'll do this. This is all wishful thinking. You got to make sure the foundation. That's why I wanted to focus on this for the first video. And later on, what I'll do is I'll build up on this and talk about people that have that first property, how they can get to their building their real estate portfolio and having that 4 to 10 properties after that. Have a good one and cheers.